All right, welcome. Today we're diving into one of the most powerful and, let's be real, controversial ideas in the world of strategy, the law of concealing your intentions. So let's just jump right in with a question that really gets to the heart of this. We're all taught that honesty is the best policy, right? But in the high-stakes game of power and influence, is that always true? Is being an open book a strength or a critical weakness? And boom, there it is. That's the core judgment of this law. It's pretty dramatic, and it really sets the stage. The whole idea is that mystery, well, it's a kind of power in itself. If people have no idea what your real goal is, how can they possibly stop you? Okay, so Section 1, the power of mystery. Let's really dig into why hiding what you're up to can be such a game changer in the first place.
It's really that simple. I mean, think about it. If your opponents, your rivals, even your friends know exactly what you want and how you plan to get it, they can see your moves coming from a mile away. It's like playing chess, but you've told them your next 5 moves. You're making yourself a sitting duck.
Now, the trick here isn't just to clam up and say nothing, right? Because that just makes people suspicious. Instead, the real art is in creating a smokescreen. You basically give people a decoy, a totally believable but fake reason for what you're doing. And while they're all busy looking over there, you're free to pursue your real objective over here.
All right, so now let's see what happens when you do the exact opposite of this. We're going to rewind the clock to 17th century France for a story that is, frankly, the perfect cautionary tale.
So, here are our players. The setup is pretty straightforward. You've got this young, handsome Marquis who is just head over heels for a certain countess. He's got it all, or so it seems, but he has one big fatal flaw. He's an open book.
So what does he do? Instead of, building any kind of suspense or intrigue, he just lays it all out there. He confesses his undying love, his passion, the whole shebang right from the get-go. All his cards are on the table. And the consequence? Total disaster. You see, the Countess wasn't swept off her feet. She was bored out of her mind. All the mystery was gone. There was no chase, no tension. By revealing his ultimate goal, he basically handed her all the power on a silver platter. He wasn't a prize to be won. He was just there. Okay, so that was a spectacular failure. Now let's flip the script and look at an absolute masterclass in how to use this law, brought to you by one of the greatest political minds in history. And that brings us to Otto von Bismarck. His real goal, deep down, was to unite Germany, and he knew the only way to do that was to provoke a war with Austria. The problem? His own king, the parliament, pretty much everyone with power, was completely against it. So check out his plan. This is just brilliant. He didn't go out and argue for war. No way. He did the exact opposite. He put up this huge smokescreen, talking all about peace and alliances with Austria. And this was smart because it played right into what his opponents wanted to hear. While they were all patting themselves on the back for avoiding conflict, what was Bismarck doing? He was secretly moving his army into place and engineering little diplomatic misunderstandings to basically bait Austria into declaring war first. So when the fighting finally started, Prussia looked like the innocent victim. And boom, he got all the public support he needed. So when you put these two side by side, the Marquis and Bismarck, the difference is just night and day, right? The Marquis' total honesty led to boredom and failure. Bismarck's total concealment, it led to the unification of an entire country. The outcome couldn't be more different. And it all boils down to how they handled their intentions. Okay, so how do you actually do this? How can this be applied in a practical way? Well, the source material kind of lays out a playbook for it. Let's dig into the playbook here. We're looking at 3 key tactics for keeping your true goals under wraps. All right, first up is false sincerity. This one is super subtle but incredibly powerful. The idea is you confess to a minor fake goal. You act all open and honest about this one little thing, and people just naturally assume you're being straight with them about everything else. It's a brilliant way to build trust while you're working on your real plan in the background. Next up is the friend tactic. Now this one is definitely a long game. Instead of openly attacking a rival, you do the opposite. You get close to them, become their friend, their confidant. You let them tell you their secrets, their weaknesses, and then, only when the time is absolutely perfect, you use that information to your advantage. But, and this is a big but, is hiding your intentions always the right play? As with all these laws of power, you gotta know when to flip the script.
And this brings us to the reversal. Sometimes the most powerful, most shocking thing you can do is just lay your intentions out there for everyone to see. But listen, this isn't about being honest for the sake of it. Oh no, this is about using that revelation as a weapon.
So you see, it all comes down to your goal. Concealment, the smokescreen, that's about misdirection. It lulls your enemy into a false sense of security. But revelation, that's a shock and awe strategy. It's designed to terrify your opponent, to paralyze them with the sheer boldness of what you're planning.
And there's one other huge exception, managing your reputation. Look, if you get known as a deceiver, as someone who's always playing an angle, well, your tricks stop working. At that point, the most deceptive thing you can do is to be ridiculously, painstakingly honest for a while. It rebuilds your cover.
You know, this quote really sums up the psychology behind all of this perfectly. It's a great reminder that these tactics, whether you're concealing or revealing, are all about playing with perception and trust. Even the most paranoid people can be tricked if you just find that one little opening to win their trust. So, when you boil it all down, we've really looked at two main paths that spring from this law. You've got the path of the smokescreen, subtle, misdirecting, and then you have the path of shock and awe, bold and intimidating.
And that brings us to our final thought, a really important question to leave you with. This law is obviously a very powerful tool, but like any powerful tool, it's dangerous if you don't know how to use it. The real art of power isn't just about memorizing the rules. It's about having the wisdom to know exactly when, and more importantly, why you might need to break them.